Working with AI. As a writer and artist, I found that AI opened up all kinds of possibilities. Initially, I used AI to create narrations from text, and I selected among different voices to pick the narrator. The program didn't call it AI. It was just using a text-to-voice option. Then, about 6 months ago, some new AI programs were popularized, and I began exploring the first ones to come out. These were Midjourney, DALL-E, and Stable Diffusion. And I created some children's picture book illustrations using these programs. These books included Beyond the Beach, Whoosh, Zoo Doo, Sounds in the Night, and I Wish I Could Be, A Dog's Tale. I put in a prompt which resulted in a grid of 4 images, and sometimes I was able to use one of these. But often I had to create variations or evolve an image. I found that these AI programs worked best to create a variety of characters and settings. But AI didn't work well to tell a story about a particular character or particular location. That's because these images continually change when you put a series of prompts to tell a story. Next, I started experimenting with creating songs. I asked AI to write a country song based on a brief story. AI came up with a song with the common country song structure: verse, chorus, bridge, final chorus, and sometimes an outro or tag. Sometimes I asked AI to regenerate or come up with additional versions of a song. For example, I told AI to tell a story about a man who breaks up with a woman because he learns she has been cheating on him. The result was Backdoor Love. Another example is a gospel song I wrote in which I asked AI to write a song about seeing God everywhere. In writing songs with AI, I found that I could use most of what AI wrote. But I had to polish up the copy, so perhaps 80% of the song was from AI. Then I tried creating more illustrations. I used a program called NightCafe, which uses Stable Diffusion or DALL-E to generate the image and offers different style options. Initially, there were about 30 options, and now there are over 40. I began by selecting a few styles to work with, mostly pop art, modern comic, and color painting, for the next series of illustrated books. I first created a series called It's Unusual, featuring unique gifts, spectacular sports, and crazy cars. After that, I wondered what might happen if I used the same situation for the over 40 styles available from NightCafe. Besides being curious for myself, I thought the images in different styles could help the clients I work with as a ghostwriter choose the style they wanted for their book. I selected 2 common scenarios involving dogs and cats, because they are so popular. For the first book, Walking the Dog, I used the prompt: a dog goes for a walk with its owner in a park. Then, for the next book, Cat and Mouse, I used the prompt: a cat chases a mouse in a house. Later, I used AI when I couldn't find stock images for 2 books for a client. One book was Love and Sex in Prison, about women in relationships with prisoners. The other book was Women in Prison, about women who are serving time themselves. I found the stock images looked too staged and unreal. But AI came back with some realistic images of women speaking to men in prison or walking around in a prison yard. Then I began experimenting with the many things ChatGPT can do, besides writing songs. I used it to create some press releases for one client's children's picture books and for another client's books on the criminal justice system. Then I listed several key words in the release, and AI created a database of media contacts, which I used to send out a press release to the media. Now I can send out these releases for clients through another company I run, which connects writers to publishers, agents, and the film industry, publishersagentsfilms.com. Most recently, I read about the many thousands of individuals using AI for therapy by having conversations with a chatbot. So I tried out my own conversations, based on describing a problem relationship. I also asked a question about dealing with anxiety, since I have been working with a co-author on a book about overcoming anxiety and fear. AI's answers seemed quite good, and I began to wonder if AI could give advice like an advice columnist. I previously collected problems that individuals asked an advice columnist, so I described a couple of these requests in a prompt, and I got very good responses. So now I'm working on a book about providing advice to people with problems. I will work with several consultants who provide counseling and therapy to confirm that AI has given good advice. The new book is called Ask AI, and all the advice will be from ChatGPT 4. Besides being a book, the topic will be turned into a newspaper and online column, a documentary, a game, and more. I even found images of a robot therapist for the book through NightCafe. So that's the latest. And maybe in time, I can have AI do the presentation for me. For more information, you can contact me at Changemakers Publishing and Writing.